Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Welcome to Virtual University. I am your course instructor for training and development, and today is the 29th session that we are meeting for. You know that we were discussing traditional training methods, and within that we had concluded our discussion about hands-on training methods. In hands-on training methods, we discussed several different kind of training methods in which we discussed on-the-job training, we discussed self-directed learning, simulations, role plays, business games, apprenticeships, and behavior modeling techniques. ये सब ट्रेनिंग मेथड्स तो इंडिविजुअल लर्निंग के लिए डिजाइन किए जाते हैं. आज हम बात करेंगे उन ट्रेनिंग मेथड्स की जो कि टीम्स को ट्रेन करने के लिए यूज किए जाते हैं. इन ट्रेनिंग मेथड्स को वी कॉल देम ग्रुप बिल्डिंग मेथड्स. सो इन ग्रुप बिल्डिंग मेथड्स द ऑब्जेक्टिव इज नॉट ओनली to train the individual, but also to develop the group. And you know, as HR students, you must have read about organizational behavior, that there are certain dynamics of individual behavior, and there are more additional dynamics that are involved in group behavior. सो इंडिविजुअल बिहेवियर को तो आप कुछ गाइडलाइंस के थ्रू कंट्रोल कर सकते हैं, लेकिन ग्रुप बिहेवियर को इम्प्रूव करने के लिए, ग्रुप लर्निंग को एनहांस करने के लिए आपको इंडिविजुअल लर्निंग और इंडिविजुअल ट्रेनिंग से कुछ बढ़ के या कुछ मुख्तलिफ करके करना होगा. सो यू हैव टू टेक इनटू अकाउंट द ग्रुप डायनामिक्स, the understanding of about group behavior, and how to build effective groups and teams so that they can coordinate to achieve maximum performance. Therefore, the objective of group building methods, that is improving the trainee's skill as well as the team effectiveness. So in group building methods, what trainees learn is that they share ideas and experiences, and they learn from each other's expression, each other's experiences, each other's ideas. Then they learn to identify with a group. They learn how group identification is created. किसी भी एक ग्रुप में काम करने के लिए, किसी भी टीम में काम करने के लिए जो आपकी अपनी आइडेंटिटी डेवलप होती है, जो रोल आप उस ग्रुप में प्ले करते हैं, वो आपका डिटरमिन होता है. सो इन ग्रुप बिल्डिंग मेथड्स द टीम मेंबर्स लर्न टू डेवलप ग्रुप आइडेंटिटी. देन दे ऑल्सो लर्न द डायनामिक्स ऑफ इंटरपर्सनल कम्युनिकेशन, दैट व्हेन यू आर वर्किंग इन अ ग्रुप, व्हेन यू आर वर्किंग इन अ टीम, how is information, what information to give, what information to withhold, किस मेंबर को कौन सी इंफॉर्मेशन देनी चाहिए, कहाँ पे इंफॉर्मेशन को withhold कर लेना चाहिए, किस टाइम पे इंफॉर्मेशन देना जरूरी है. So the dynamics of interpersonal communication, that is also learned in the group building methods. And then learning also takes place when the group members, they realize or they get to know about their own strengths and weaknesses, and they also get to know about other people's strengths and weaknesses. So एक टीम में काम करने के लिए आपको पता होना चाहिए कि आपकी अपनी स्ट्रेंथ्स क्या हैं, आप किस पोटेंशियल को, किन एबिलिटीज को यूटिलाइज कर सकते हैं, और दूसरे लोगों में क्या स्ट्रेंथ्स हैं. और सिमिलरली आपको अपनी वीकनेसेस भी पता होनी चाहिए. अगर आप में कोई वीकनेस है और किसी दूसरे में वही स्ट्रेंथ है, तो यू कैन यूज दैट पर्सन्स पोटेंशियल टू fill in the gap of your own weakness. And Similarly, if somebody else has got a weakness and you have a strength in comparison to that, you can fill in the gap by stepping in and filling in the weakness of that person. So, and then you also get to know, then you also become aware that if you have a weakness and your group members, they also have the same kind of a weakness. अगर बाकी लोगों में भी वही deficiency है या वही कमजोरी है, तो आपको एक तरह का confidence मिल जाता है कि ये सिर्फ specifically मेरी situation नहीं है. I'm not the only one facing this kind of a problem or this kind of a weakness. There are other people with my kind of a background, with my kind of skills and abilities who are facing the same kind of a problem. So you get to enhance your self-confidence if you see कि और लोगों में भी ये weaknesses हैं, and then you see other people working on their weaknesses, trying to improve them, and then you can also get guidance and support how to improve on your own weaknesses. So working in teams and working in groups, that is a very effective way of maximizing performance. So group building and team training is a very important aspect of training and development. All right. So the trainees, they learn through sharing ideas and experiences. They learn through developing their group identity. They learn about interpersonal communication, and they learn through getting awareness about their own strengths and weaknesses and other people's strengths and weaknesses. These are the dynamics that take place within a group building method, a team training method. The group building method that is specified to improve the skills of the people as well and the team coordination. Both of these objectives are there in a group building method. You are training them for some kind of skills, and you are training them that they are going to use those skills in a team. So both these objectives are there in a group building method. You're just not making a group of people who are interacting for no purpose at all. You are making a group to achieve some specific target. So the learning of skills, learning of behaviors, that is also a component of group building methods. There are several tasks, there are several activities that cannot be completed without a team, that must be completed as a team effort. For example, अगर आप सर्जरी की बात करते हैं, एक ऑपरेशन अगर होना है, तो सर्जरी करने के लिए सिर्फ एक अकेला डॉक्टर या सर्जन सर्जरी नहीं कर सकता. You know that there is a whole team, nurses or doctors or supporting staff. There are so many people who are involved in the process of surgery. Someone has to control the equipment, someone has to control the oxygen, someone has to control the blood supply, somebody has to hand in the tools and equipment, somebody has to just stand there and monitor, and one person has to carry on the actual surgery. But this task cannot be completed without the team effort, without the group coordinating about information, about statistics, about what is happening on that table at that during the time of the surgery. So unless and until there isn't any coordination between those people, the task cannot be completed. Similarly, aviation mein, you can't fly a plane without a team effort. It is an effort between the pilots, the co-pilots, and the crew, the staff members of the entire plane. So unless information is not smoothly transferred between these people, unless they do not carry on their activities in a coordination, the effort cannot be completed. So many activities, they have too many tasks within organizations, they have to complete it in a group. So you cannot only focus on individual skills, individual behaviors. You have to focus on group performance, on group building. So that is why we are carrying on this discussion. All right, so group building that takes place through experiential learning. Experiential learning, basically the concept is that you are learning through experience. Learning through experience does not mean that you are only going through an experience. Experiential learning means that there is some content of experience included into the entire training activity. So there are 4 stages of experiential learning. The first stage is to gain conceptual knowledge and theory. Without conceptual knowledge, without conceptual theory, you cannot understand what is the reason behind an experience. You cannot understand what is the reason why things are happening as they are. So, first of all, you need to gain conceptual understanding, conceptual knowledge. The second stage is to take part in a behavioral simulation. You are involved in a behavioral simulation. Behavioral simulation की हमने बात किया, behavioral modeling की हमने बात किया पिछले सेशन में. आपको behaviors present किए जाते हैं और आप उन behaviors को replicate करते हैं, आप उनको practice करते हैं और आप उनको अपनी work life में transfer करने की कोशिश करते हैं. So, you take part in some kind of an activity that involves behavior simulation. Then you have to analyze the activity. Analyze the activity in terms that what are the key behaviors of that activity, how well you are performing on them, how well other people are performing on them, what are the strengths and weaknesses of your performance, what are the strengths and weaknesses of other people's performance. So you analyze the activity, what is the purpose of this activity, and what kind of learning you will acquire from this activity. So that is the third stage of experiential learning. And the fourth stage is to connect the theory and activity with on-the-job or real-life situations. So after you have analyzed the activity, you try to connect, you try to make a connection, a relationship between the theory that you've learned, between the concepts that you've learned, between the behaviors that you have simulated, and how they are connected to your work life, how they are connected to application on the job, to application on specific situations. So that is experiential learning, and experiential learning is a major component of group building methods. There has to be some experience, then before that there has to be some explanation of concepts, there has to be some analysis and connection made between the concepts and theories and simulation that has been learned and application of that on the job and in real life situations. So when we talk about group building methods, there are several different group building methods that can be utilized to improve the performance of a group, to develop a group, to improve the group dynamics. The first one that I'm going to talk about is adventure learning. Adventure learning focuses on development of teamwork and leadership skills through structured activities. Basically, adventure learning is carried on through activities that are interesting, that are exciting, that bring some kind of a fear in you, that takes out some hidden potential of yours, and that adventure leads to some kind of learning. So adventure learning का मतलब ये है कि आप किसी adventure पे निकलते हैं, आप कुछ ऐसा करते हैं जो कि adventurous है, जो कि thrilling है, जो आपको एक boost देता है एनर्जी का, आपके मोराल को boost देता है. और जब वो आप एक ग्रुप में इकट्ठे मिलके करते हैं एक्टिविटी, तो उससे आपकी ग्रुप भी जो है ग्रुप डायनामिक्स भी इम्प्रूव होते हैं. यू आर एबल टू वर्क इन अ टीम एंड इन दैट स्टेट ऑफ हाई मोरल, इन दैट स्टेट ऑफ हाई एंथुजियाज्म एंड एनर्जी, व्हेन यू गेट टुगेदर यू स्टिक टुगेदर. सो दैट इज द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ एडवेंचर लर्निंग. एडवेंचर लर्निंग में बहुत सारी इंटरेस्टिंग एक्टिविटीज हो सकती हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल एक एडवेंचर लर्निंग एक्सरसाइज है विच इज कॉल्ड द बीम. नाउ इस एडवेंचर के अंदर क्या करते हैं कि ट्रेनीज एक ग्रुप में इकट्ठे हो जाते हैं, डिवाइड हो जाते हैं ग्रुप में, और हर ग्रुप मेंबर को 2 दरख्तों के बीच में एक 6 फुट ऊंची बीम के ऊपर चलना है और बैलेंस करके अपने आप को चलना है. सो ये एक मुश्किल काम है, और अगर आप लेट्स से मार्केटिंग एग्जीक्यूटिव्स की टीम को ये चैलेंज करने को कहते हैं, जिन्होंने कभी जिंदगी में इस तरह की एक्रोबैटिक एक्टिविटीज नहीं की, उनको ऑब्वियसली ये मुश्किल लगेगा और एक चैलेंजिंग एक्टिविटी लगेगी. और इसमें ग्रुप डायनामिक्स कैसे बिल्डअप होंगे, वो ये कि आप जब उनको ग्रुप में इकट्ठा करते हैं और फिर वो इंडिविजुअली इस बीम को क्रॉस करने की कोशिश करते हैं, तो जब वो कोशिश करते हैं बीम क्रॉस करने की, उस वक्त उनको जो उनके ग्रुप मेंबर्स हैं वो बकअप स्टेटमेंट्स शाउट करते हैं, वो उनको इनकरेज करने की कोशिश करते हैं, फिर उनको वो एडवाइस देने की कोशिश करते हैं कि अगर वो ठीक नहीं जा रहे तो इस तरह से कर लें या किसी और तरह से कर लें. सो ये एडवाइस और ये बकिंग अप के थ्रू जो उनका मोराल बूस्ट होता है और फिर वो टारगेट को अचीव कर लेते हैं, इससे उनका जो ग्रुप डायनामिक्स हैं वो इम्प्रूव हो जाते हैं एंड दे स्टिक टुगेदर एज अ ग्रुप. तो उनको लगता है कि उन्होंने एक चीज जो है, एक काम जो है वो एज अ ग्रुप अचीव किया. इसी तरह से एक एडवेंचर लर्निंग, एडवेंचर ट्रेनिंग एक्सरसाइज करवाई गई एक रेस्टोरेंट मैनेजर को. ये भी एक एडवेंचर लर्निंग एक्सरसाइज का हिस्सा थी कि वो रेस्टोरेंट मैनेजर ने एक तकरीबन 3 स्टोरी बिल्डिंग जितनी हाइट, जितनी ऊंची दीवार को कि उस ऊपर जो है वो क्लाइम करना है. So the restaurant manager was telling the story about this adventure learning exercise. So she said कि जी 2/3 of the distance जो है वो बहुत थक गई और उससे ऊपर मजीद नहीं चढ़े जा रहा था. So इस सिचुएशन में जो उसके ग्रुप मेंबर्स पीछे से उसको शाउट कर रहे थे, जो उसको इनकरेज कर रहे थे और उसको तरीके बता रहे थे कि तुम इधर से चढ़ जाओ, इधर से स्टेप अप कर लो, तो वो उन इस एडवाइस को लेके, उस encouragement को लेके, she was able to complete that task, she was able to climb that wall. And then she said that जब उससे पूछा गया कि तुमने इससे क्या सीखा, what did you learn from that, because restaurant management and climbing a wall, apparently they look very different, apparently they look like 2 worlds apart, but what did you learn from that? तो उसने कहा कि मुझे इससे ये रियलाइजेशन हुई, मैंने ये इससे लर्न किया कि आप बहुत से काम जिंदगी में आपको लगता है कि आप इंडिविजुअली कर रहे हैं, लेकिन there are a lot of people who are supporting that, and because of the support that you get from people, you are able to do them in a better way. So because a restaurant is something that is managed as a team, you know, the restaurant is managed by the team of the managers, the chefs, the waiters, all those people. So if you do not work together, if you do not support each other, you cannot achieve the target. So what was learned, although it was learned through an entirely different activity, but the learning was so much applicable on the job. All right, so adventure learning exercises, they can include many different sort of exercises. There can be so many variations, there can be so many ideas. The idea should be that there should be some strenuous, challenging activity provided to the people. So they can include wilderness training. Wilderness training में क्या है कि आप किसी wild जगह पे, किसी natural habitat में जाके वहाँ पर लेट्स से कैंपिंग करते हैं, एक रात गुजारने की कोशिश करते हैं किसी ऐसी जगह पे जो कि जहाँ कोई फैसिलिटीज नहीं है, जहाँ पे कोई एक्सटर्नल आपको सपोर्ट हासिल नहीं है, तो आप विल्डरनेस में जाके कुछ दिन स्पेंड कर रहे हैं, कैंपिंग कर रहे हैं. तो उससे अगर आप एक ग्रुप के साथ जाते हैं और ग्रुप के साथ वहाँ पे सर्वाइव करने की कोशिश करते हैं, तो उससे आपकी ग्रुप जो है वो ग्रुप डायनामिक्स इंप्रूव हो सकते हैं. उसके अलावा ट्रस्ट फॉल्स इज अनदर काइंड ऑफ एन एडवेंचर एक्टिविटी, जिसमें क्या करते हैं कि दिस इज एन एक्टिविटी टू इम्प्रूव द ट्रस्ट ऑफ पीपल अमंग ईच अदर. कि ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में जो लोग हैं, एम्प्लॉयज हैं, उनका आपस में ट्रस्ट इंप्रूव करने के लिए ये ट्रस्ट फॉल्स करवाई जाती हैं. अब ट्रस्ट फॉल्स का क्या मतलब है होता ही है कि आप तकरीबन 5 से 6 फुट ऊंचे एक किसी प्लेटफॉर्म पे खड़े होते हैं एंड यू फॉल बैकवर्ड्स विदाउट लुकिंग, पीछे की तरफ आप गिरते हैं, अपने आप को फ्री फॉल में छोड़ देते हैं. एंड देयर इज अ मेंबर ऑफ योर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन दैट इज स्टैंडिंग बिहाइंड यू, जो कि आपको कैच करेगा. सो अब आप 5-6 फुट ऊंचाई से उल्टे गिर रहे हैं, और अगर आप अपने कॉलीग को, अपने टीम मेंबर को ट्रस्ट नहीं करते होंगे, यू विल नेवर डू दैट. If you will trust the person, if you will trust that team member, only then you will, उसके हाथ में अब अपनी जान जो है वो दे देंगे और कहेंगे कि हाँ, ये मुझे बचा लेगा या ये मुझे कैच कर लेगा. So trust falls are another kind of adventure exercises that are used to develop trust among the group members. Even cooking classes, they can improve the group dynamics, because if, for example, आप कहें कि जी आपने एक 10 लोगों के 15 लोगों के ग्रुप के लिए कुकिंग करनी है, तो उसमें भी आपने एक कोऑर्डिनेटेड एक्टिविटी करनी है. आपने बहुत सारे काम जो हैं उनको कोऑर्डिनेट करके चलना है. तो even cooking classes can be used as adventure learning exercises. So most of the adventure learning exercises, they include some kind of strenuous, challenging physical activity. But not necessarily every adventure exercise can include a strenuous physical activity. The concept is based on the fact that the activity should be very demanding from the person in terms of some physical strain or emotional strain or psychological strain, or strain on your abilities that you have not been used to use in your daily or normal routine life. So another example of adventure learning is drum circles. Now drum circles, they don't require you to mobilize your physical strength, or it is not a very strenuous, challenging physical activity. Drum circles में क्या होता है कि Toyota is a corporation which uses drum circles to enhance their group effectiveness. और उसमें क्या होता है कि आप ग्रुप के अंदर इकट्ठे होके ड्रम्स बजाते हैं, और कुछ फैसिलिटेटर्स पहले ड्रम्स बजाना शुरू करते हैं और उनको एक ऑर्केस्ट्रा के तौर पे बजाना शुरू करते हैं. एंड देन द अदर ग्रुप मेंबर्स हु आर नॉट familiar with beating the drums, they also start participating, and the facilitators, they help the group members build an orchestra of drum beating. और जब ढोल बजता है तो आपको पता है कि you feel a lot more energetic, you feel a lot more active. आपको पता है कि जब परेड करवाई जाती है तो वो भी ड्रम की बीट पे करवाई जाती है. कोई भी फिजिकल पीटी जो होती है वो भी ड्रम की बीट पे करवाई जाती है. पुराने जमाने में जो शिप्स चलाते थे उसमें जो रोइंग की जाती थी, क्योंकि उस वक्त मशीन्स नहीं होती थी, तो शिप्स को आदमी ही रोइंग करके चप्पू चला के चलाते थे. तो वो एक्टिविटी भी ड्रम की बीट पे कोऑर्डिनेट की जाती थी. सो ड्रम की बीट जो है वो बड़ी एक आपके एनर्जी इंप्रूव करती है. सो ड्रम सर्कल्स में जब आप एज अ ग्रुप ऑर्केस्ट्रा को बजाते हैं और ड्रम बीट करते हैं, उससे आपकी एक ग्रुप की जो सेंस है वो इम्प्रूव होती है. आप हाई मोराल में जाते हैं, आप ज्यादा एक्टिवली एंगेज्ड होते हैं, और इससे आपकी जो ग्रुप की एंगेजमेंट है वो बढ़ जाती है. सो ड्रम सर्कल्स, ऑल्दो इट इज नॉट अ स्ट्रेनुअस एक्सरसाइज ऑन योर, इट डज नॉट पुट अ फिजिकल स्ट्रेन ऑन योर बॉडी, but it is a challenging exercise to be able to orchestrate the drum beating and do it together as a whole. So drum circles की exercise के बाद जो team members हैं वो बड़ा elevated feel करते हैं, बड़ा energetic feel करते हैं, and they identify together as a group. Now these kind of adventure learning exercises, they should be used to teach skills such as where you want people to become self-aware. You want to improve their self-awareness. You want them to improve their understanding about themselves, the hidden potentials in themselves. That is a way in which you can use adventure learning to improve self-awareness. Then these exercises can also be used to improve problem-solving abilities, because it is when you are, for example, if you are in wilderness training, और आपने एक जगह पे एक कुछ अरसे के लिए रहना है और वहां पर आपने मुख्तलिफ आपको प्रॉब्लम्स आ सकते हैं, आपको पानी नहीं मिल रहा, आपको खाना नहीं मिल रहा, आपको सिक्योरिटी का प्रॉब्लम आ रहा है, आपने टीम के तौर पे काम करना है, डिफरेंट एक्टिविटीज असाइन करनी है, तो प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग एबिलिटी आपकी इम्प्रूव हो सकती है. उसके अलावा आपने अगर कॉन्फ्लिक्ट मैनेजमेंट या कॉन्फ्लिक्ट रेजोल्यूशन की एबिलिटी लोगों को सिखानी है तो उसके लिए भी एडवेंचर लर्निंग एक्सरसाइजेज बहुत इफेक्टिव हो सकती हैं, क्योंकि एडवेंचर के अंदर आप यू आर अंडर अ लॉट ऑफ स्ट्रेन, यू आर अंडर अ लॉट ऑफ चैलेंज, एंड व्हेन यू आर ट्राइंग टू अचीव अ गोल इन दैट सिचुएशन, conflicts they can come up, and when you are trying to achieve a target and yet also trying to resolve a conflict, that is a really nice situation to build up the ability to resolve conflicts. So conflict management is also one of the skills that can be taught through adventure learning. And then risk taking, if you want people to realize the benefits of risk taking, or if you want people to shed off their fears of risk taking, adventure learning is obviously one of the effective ways of developing such kind of an attitude. There can be some disadvantages or some issues that can come up in adventure learning exercises. For example, one of the issues that can come up is extreme stress that is put on the team members. So उससे कोई आपके फिजिकल इश्यूज भी निकल सकते हैं, तो आपको ये पता होना चाहिए कि जो आपके टीम मेंबर्स हैं, फॉर एग्जांपल अगर आप किसी को 3 स्टोरी हाई वॉल के ऊपर क्लाइम करने को कह रहे हैं, तो उस बेचारे को कोई हार्ट डिजीज तो नहीं है या उसको कोई ऐसा प्रॉब्लम तो नहीं है जिसको वो बर्दाश्त ना कर सके. सो यू मस्ट नो द फिजिकल लिमिटेशंस ऑफ योर टीम मेंबर्स, और अगर आपको ये नहीं पता होगा और आप लोगों को इस तरह की एक्टिविटी में इन्वॉल्व कर लें और बाद में कोई इश्यूज आ जाएं, तो देन योर कंपनी इज गोइंग टू बी अंडर सम काइंड ऑफ अ प्रॉब्लम. फिर इसमें प्राइवेसी कंसर्न्स भी हो सकते हैं. सम पीपल मे नॉट बी, क्योंकि इसमें एडवेंचर एक्सरसाइजेज में यू मे नीड टू टच अदर्स, यू मे नीड टू होल्ड अदर पीपल, you may need to interact with them in a very close environment. So some people may have privacy issues. They may not want to interact with other people in such a close situation. For example, if you're talking about Islamic countries, let's say Pakistan, and you make a group of men and women, and आप मर्दों और औरतों को इकट्ठा करके ट्रस्ट फॉल्स करवाएं और वो एक ऑपोजिट जेंडर के जो है वो मेंबर के साथ किसी ने ट्रस्ट फॉल करनी है, तो ऑब्वियसली अ पर्सन विल नॉट फील कंफर्टेबल अबाउट दैट. So you need to realize the privacy issues of a certain environment, of a certain culture, of a certain situation. Then an issue that can arise out of these adventure exercises is infliction of emotional distress. के बाद में जब आप एक्सरसाइज करवा चुके हैं उसके बाद कुछ मेंबर्स आपको कहें ये कंप्लेन करें कि दे वेंट अंडर एन एक्सट्रीम काइंड ऑफ इमोशनल डिस्ट्रेस. तो फॉर एग्जांपल अगर आप विल्डरनेस ट्रेनिंग की बात करते हैं जिसमें उनको रात को बाहर कैंपिंग करना है, तो कुछ लोग अगर बहुत उनको डर है किसी चीज का, अगर आप उनको हाइट्स पे ले जाते हैं, तो अगर किसी को हाइट का डर है, किसी को पानी का डर है, किसी को अंधेरे का डर है, तो ये सब चीजें जो हैं वो अगर उनके ऊपर बहुत इमोशनल डिस्ट्रेस वो फील करते हैं, तो that can also be a problem for your organization. So you need to know before you involve people in these kind of adventure learning exercises that they are strong enough to take the burden, they are strong enough to bear the burden, and it is more certain that no problems will arise later on. So these can be some of the issues that may arise in adventure learning exercises. So for adventure learning exercises to be successful, the exercises should be related to the types of skills that participants are expected to develop. It's not really important that the adventure learning exercise should apparently look similar to what skill or ability you want them to learn at their workplace. But there has to be some connection. जिस तरह हमने रेस्टोरेंट मैनेजमेंट की और वॉल क्लाइंबिंग की बात की, उसमें कुछ लिंक था, उसमें कुछ कनेक्शन था. जो स्किल उसने वहां पे लर्न की वो स्किल उसके काम पे भी एप्लीकेबल थी. लेकिन यू नीड टू आइडेंटिफाई कि ये जो हम एडवेंचर लर्निंग एक्सरसाइज करने जा रहे हैं इसमें लोग क्या सीखेंगे और जो वो सीखेंगे वो उनके काम में कहाँ पे अप्लाई होगा. So there has to be some connection. It's not necessary that apparently कोई connection हो, apparently कोई similarity हो, but you know the crux of the matter, the main point, the main theme of the exercise should be based on developing a skill that can be used in the work life. So for successful adventure learning exercises, there must be some connection between the skills that is being learned and that is being applied. And for successful adventure learning exercises, it is important that after the exercises, skilled facilitators should lead a discussion. And this discussion should be about what happened in the exercise, what was learned, how events in the exercise relate to the job situation, and how to apply what was learned on the job. So within an adventure learning exercise, after the exercise is completed, there should be a discussion at the end so that people are able to make this connection. People are able to see that what they have learned, पहले तो वो ये realize करें कि उन्होंने क्या सीखा है, उसके एक्टिविटी के अंदर क्या कुछ हुआ और जो उन्होंने सीखा वो उनकी जॉब से किस तरह से रिलेटेड है और वो किन सिचुएशंस में इन स्किल्स को अप्लाई कर सकते हैं. सो दीज शुड बी डिस्कस्ड आफ्टर द एडवेंचर लर्निंग एक्सरसाइज इज कंप्लीटेड. सो अनलेस यू डोंट डिस्कस दीज थिंग्स, पीपल मे नॉट बिकम अवेयर of what they have learned, or they may not become aware of where to apply what they have learned to their job. So adventure learning is a kind of training method which can be used to build groups, which can be used to improve team effectiveness, and which should be used in situations where you want people to improve their self-awareness, or where you want them to learn conflict management, risk-taking, or such kind of objectives are there for your training program. So this is one of the methods of group building. Now we are going to discuss another group building method, which is called team training. Now team training coordinates the performance of individuals who work together to achieve a common goal. Now team training is a kind of training exercise in which people are required to work in a team and learn some kind of specific skills. Adventure learning तो एक बहुत informal तरह का तरीका है. Team training is a more formal kind of a learning method. Team training में आप पहले लोगों के skills और required behaviors को identify करते हैं और फिर आप उनको उन्हीं skills और required behaviors की particular training देते हैं, and you coordinate that training in a way that the team is trained as a whole. So team training is a more formal way of group building methods. You bring together the team, you tell them what they're supposed to learn, you ask them, you make them work in groups, and that makes that is used to achieve the objective of disseminating information about learning skills as well as building their groups. So both these objectives are attained in team training. The objectives of team training are that the team should be able to develop procedures to identify and resolve errors. ये पहला ऑब्जेक्टिव है जो कि टीम ट्रेनिंग का आउटकम होना चाहिए कि जो टीम है वो ऐसे प्रोसीजर्स डेवलप कर सके जो कि प्रॉब्लम्स को या एरर्स को आइडेंटिफाई कर सकें और उनको रिजॉल्व कर सकें. सो टीम में ऐसे डायनामिक्स डेवलप हो जाने चाहिए कि वो आपस में मिल के ऐसे प्रोसीजर्स को आइडेंटिफाई, ऐसे प्रोसीजर्स बना लें कि वो एरर्स को आइडेंटिफाई कर सकें और रिजॉल्व कर सकें. द सेकेंड ऑब्जेक्टिव ऑफ टीम ट्रेनिंग is to develop coordination of information. कि वो जो टीम है वो ऐसे डायनामिक्स डेवलप कर ले कि वो इंफॉर्मेशन को effectively coordinate कर सकें. And thirdly, they are able to reinforce each other. That is also another objective of team training, that the team should be able to give reinforcement to each other. So they should be able to improve their morale, they should be able to motivate each other, they should be able to give reinforcement to each other, so that the performance that can be maintained and sustained within the group by the resources of the group. These are the objectives of team training. Now, when you have to train a team, there are 3 components of team training. You've got to train them for knowledge, for behaviors, and for attitudes. Knowledge, they should have to understand their tasks, what is the conceptual or theoretical knowledge behind the task that they are performing. Behaviors, the behaviors that are required, the key behaviors that are required to complete the tasks that they are performing. And the third most important thing is attitudes. Attitudes of individual motivation as well as attitudes of group motivation. You need to develop the attitude of the team to work together. अगर उनके आपस में एक दूसरे की तरफ attitude positive नहीं होगा, अगर attitude group work का नहीं होगा, अगर एटीट्यूड ग्रुप परफॉर्मेंस का नहीं होगा, अगर आपके ग्रुप मेंबर्स ये कहेंगे कि नहीं, मैंने अपनी इंडिविजुअल परफॉर्मेंस को इंप्रूव करना है, बाकी लोगों की परफॉर्मेंस को मैंने किसी तरह से रिड्यूस करने की कोशिश करना है ताकि सिर्फ मैं आउटशाइन कर सकूं, तो अगर इस तरह का एटीट्यूड होगा तो आपका ग्रुप परफॉर्म नहीं कर सकेगा. सो यू नीड टू डेवलप द एटीट्यूड of people in which they are ready to perform in the groups, and they are ready to take the responsibility as a group, and they are ready to share the rewards of that activity as a group as well. So attitude development is also a very important aspect of team training. So if you look at team training and how it can be developed, this is some kind of an illustration that will help you understand how to develop the structure of a team training. As you can see, there are 4 components of team training. First one are the tools, the second one are methods, the third one are strategies, which lead to team training objectives, which leads to gaining content, which is knowledge, skills, and abilities. So you can use various types of tools to analyze what you need them to learn. So these are the tools that are used to analyze what needs to be learned within the group. What kind of tools can you use? One is team task analysis, performance measurement, task simulation and exercises, feedback, and principles. अब इनको इंडिविजुअली अगर हम देखें तो टीम टास्क एनालिसिस ये है कि आप एज अ टीम आप उनके टास्क को एनालाइज करें कि इस टीम को काम करने के लिए मुख्तलिफ टास्क कौन से करने पड़ेंगे और कौन से लोग कौन से टास्क करेंगे. उसके अलावा एक तो इससे आपको इन्फॉर्मेशन मिल सकती है कि आपने उनको क्या सिखाना. द सेकेंड थिंग इज परफॉर्मेंस मेजरमेंट. परफॉर्मेंस मेजरमेंट, आप उनकी परफॉर्मेंस एवेल्युएशन से आपको ये पता चल सकता है कि टीम के अंदर कौन सी डेफिशिएंसीज हैं, उनको क्या सिखाने की जरूरत है. उसके अलावा फीडबैक, जो वो खुद अब फीडबैक दे रहे हैं अबाउट देयर ओन टीम वर्किंग, अबाउट देयर ओन टीम परफॉर्मेंस, दैट कैन ऑल्सो लीड टू क्यूज अबाउट व्हाट दे नीड टू लर्न. देन द प्रिंसिपल्स ऑफ द टास्क दैट दे आर परफॉर्मिंग, उसमें क्या प्रिंसिपल्स हैं, उसमें क्या रूल्स हैं, those can also help you to understand what they need to learn. And task simulation and exercises in which you ask them to play the role of the team and see what they are deficient in, what they need to learn, what requires to be polished. So these are the things, these are tools that you can use to identify what needs to be learned. Then this leads to tools, they lead to identification of the methods. कि आपको tools के थ्रू ये पता लगेगा कि आपने उनको क्या सिखाना है. तो जब आप ये आइडेंटिफाई कर लेंगे कि आपने उनको क्या सिखाना है, the next thing you will need to determine is कि उनको कैसे सिखाना है. What should be the method? Methods could be information based in which you give them information, demonstration based in which you give them demonstration. That could include videos. And then there could be practice-based. Practice-based means they experience the task themselves. So that could be guided practice, so that could be role play. हमने बहुत सारी practice-based methods को discuss किया. So you need to decide whether it should be information-based, demonstration-based, or practice-based, or whether it has to be a mix of all these 3 different types. And from that, from this information, the methods that you need to develop and the things that you need to teach them, both of these things will lead to specifying what kind of training do they require. In that, there are 3 types of trainings that may be specified: cross-training, coordination training, and team leader training. Cross-training has team members understand and practice each other's skills so that members are prepared to step in and take the place of another member. So cross-training में आप दूसरे member के काम को सीखते हैं, आप मुख्तलिफ different tasks जो के दूसरे members ने perform करने हैं, आप उनको भी करना सीखते हैं, so that अगर आपको किसी दूसरे member को replace करना पड़े, तो आपको आपकी टीम जो है वो उसका परफॉर्मेंस रुके नहीं, आपका काम रुके नहीं, और कोई और मेंबर जो है वो एक ऐसे मेंबर को रिप्लेस कर सके जो कि उस वक्त काम नहीं कर सके. सो क्रॉस ट्रेनिंग इज इम्पॉर्टेंट फॉर टीम ट्रेनिंग. सेकेंड टाइप ऑफ ट्रेनिंग which is important for team training is coordination training. Coordination training instructs to the team in how to share information and decision-making responsibilities to maximize team performance. So coordination training is training people how they will coordinate information, how they will coordinate the responsibility of decision making. किसने क्या डिसीजन लेना है, किसके ऊपर क्या रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज हैं, और इंफॉर्मेशन को किस तरह से कोऑर्डिनेट करना है, दैट इज द component of coordination training. And then the third aspect of team training is team leader training. And this refers to the training that team manager or facilitator receives. So if there is a team manager, if there is a team leader, this kind of training is specified for the team leader. And in that team leader training, this person can be taught how to manage conflicts. This person should know how to allocate resources, how to communicate with team members, and how to become a facilitator of performance within the team. So, cross-training, coordination training, and team leader training, this is a combination of training methods that are required to be designed in a team training exercise. So, if we go back to the chart, these strategies will lead to team training objectives. That objectives you will devise after determining what needs to be taught, how it will be taught, and through what strategy it will be taught. Will it be taught through cross-training or coordination training or team leader training? According to that strategy, you will develop the team training objectives. And these team training objectives, if you go back to the chart, will lead to the acquisition of the content, which is either knowledge or skills. So according to the objectives that you design, that objective will be designed to either improve the knowledge or the skill, the behavior of the person. So this was the discussion about team training exercises. The next type of group building method that we are going to discuss is action learning. Now, action learning, as the word clearly clarifies itself, is something that is learned through action. So that means that while you are acting, while you are actually into the action, you are learning. So that means that it is an activity of learning in real life situations. So action learning gives teams or work groups an actual problem, has them solve it and commit to an action plan, and holds them accountable for carrying out that plan. So action learning में ये होता है कि आपकी कंपनी की कोई actual problem present की जाती है और जो ग्रुप है उसने actually उस problem को solve करना है, एक action plan develop करना है, एक course of action develop करना है, and then they are also made responsible for carrying out that action. For example, अगर sales आपकी organization की कम हो रही हैं और आप अपनी sales team को कहते हैं कि आप इन sales को improve करने के लिए कोई action plan develop करें, so ये एक ऐसी exercise है जिसमें वो sales improvement को learn भी करेंगे और वो actually उस situation को solve भी करेंगे. So this is action learning. So action learning can be used to address various kind of business problems. For example, if you want to change the business, you can assign the task to your organizational members. What needs to be done in order to change the direction or strategy of your business, or how to better utilize technology, how to remove barriers between customer and company, and how to develop global leaders. All these are examples of situations in which you can use action learning to improve the performance of your organization as well as make people learn about this exercise. So the steps that are undertaken to develop an action learning program, that includes first of all identification of a problem. You need to identify कि problem कहाँ क्या है, किस problem को action learning के through solve करना है. So first of all, identification of the problem. The second step is identification of the sponsors who will actually sponsor this action learning program. So because it is a real life situation, it is a situation that will actually affect the business, you need to get sponsors of this activity. So sponsor means that people who are ready to commit the resources of the organization and who are ready to commit to the fact that they are going to give this situation into the hands of the people who will actually change the direction of your organization. So a sponsor may be the CEO of the organization or the top management of the organization who actually believes that this problem can be solved by committing people to such kind of an exercise. So the second step is identification of a sponsor. The third step is identification of a group that can effectively solve the problem. So you need to identify those people who can actually work on the situation, they can learn something out of that, and as well as solve the problem of the company also. So you need to identify the group which will be able to solve that problem together. The next step is identification of coaches who can help group reframe the problem and improve its problem solving by listening, giving feedback, offering assumptions, and so on. So first of all, identify the problem, then identify the sponsors, then identify the group members, and then you've got to identify the coaches who can actually improve the performance of the group by helping them learn how to listen to each other, how to communicate with each other, and various different exercises which are necessary for that particular situation. Next step is presentation of the problem to the group. कि आपने उस group को इकट्ठा करना है और फिर आपने उनको वो problem present करनी. The next step would be group discussion that includes reframing the problem and agreement on what the problem is, what the group should do to solve the problem, and how the group should proceed. So this group discussion will actually plan what they are going to resolve, what is the problem, how to define that problem. If you need to reframe that problem, reframing means you need to state that or you need to define that in some other terms, in some other manner. So another perspective of looking at the situation, if you've got to do that, you've got to reframe the problem and then how to actually assign duties and how to solve that problem. So a discussion on what the problem is and how it can be resolved, that is the next step of action learning program. The next step is data gathering and analysis relevant to solving the problem done by the group as a whole and as well as individual members. So after you have analyzed the problem, after you have reframed it if necessary, then your group members will individually and as a group gather data that will support the decision making for that particular problem. And then group presentation on how to solve the problem with the goal of securing a commitment from the sponsors to act on the group's recommendation. So the next step is that the group will give a presentation to its own self, that what they are supposed to do, how should they proceed, and how will they convince the sponsors to commit themselves with the particular plan of actions that they have proposed in their exercise. So, अब आपने ये करना है कि आपने जब प्लान डेवलप कर लिया है, एक्शन प्लान को डेवलप कर लिया है, तो आपने एक प्रेजेंटेशन देनी है, आपस में डिस्कशन करनी है कि आपने अपने स्पॉन्सर्स को किस तरह से कमिट करना है कि वो आपका जो एक्शन प्लान जो आपने डिवाइस किया है, जो आपने सजेस्ट किया है, उसके साथ वो रिसोर्सेज कमिट करने को तैयार हो जाए. एंड फाइनली द लास्ट स्टेप इज सेल्फ रिफ्लेक्शन एंड debriefing. After they have carried out the action plan, after they have achieved the results, after they have solved the problem, they will go into a self-reflection phase in which they will analyze what they have learned, what happened within the program, and what skills have they gained out of this action learning program. So these are some of the broad steps of an action learning activity. Today we have discussed about group building methods, within which we have talked about adventure learning, we have talked about team training and action learning. This concludes our discussion about traditional training methods. In the next session, we will start talking about the technology-based training methods, or e-learning training methods as we call them. So until next time, till we meet again, Allah Hafiz.